Hello everyone, back to do another video now, and I have been watching the most recent Killer Comedy Unleashed video. It was uploaded just now basically, and it's slightly different. I mean, it is the usual kind of bitter, oh, why did my channel get flagged, etc. Although there are definitely some parts of it that are worth watching. But what I wanted to really do this video about was because there's a section of this video where a very interesting question is asked. And what I'll do is I'll just play the video now and you will get to see what I mean.
When I screw up.
You know, I forgot to mention this in my video yesterday, Rich. If I was a moron, do you think that I would have caught on to your emotional manipulation when it came to your Christmas video? And here's one thing I left out that I'd like to share with my audience. If Rich wasn't trying to emotionally manipulate people and use his Christmas video to conveniently bring up Patreon again on Christmas, how is it that you post a Merry Christmas video that's supposed to be sincere, but you didn't even take enough time to make it in the confines of the office that everybody's paying for that you mentioned, and that internet that you mentioned, but you made it in the car? And on top of that, you didn't have time to write a description, but you did have time to link your Patreon in the bottom of your Merry Christmas video. And that was all you had time for.
That's a very good question, isn't it? And I think that that's kind of inexcusable, because think of it this way. If you were running a YouTube channel and you had 700,000 subscribers and you had, you know, an office with a setup that was worth several $1,000s, and you could prepare a very nice Christmas video, why wouldn't you take the opportunity to do that? Because that's quite a memorable thing. Especially if that's your job, because then it kind of leaves people with a good impression, especially the patrons. But as Killer pointed out, he didn't bother to do that. So that does kind of make you wonder why. And I think that the answer to that question is not something malevolent, which I think is what Killer is kind of referring to. He thinks that he's just doing it because he's trying to be emotionally manipulative. He's kind of just put it up at the last minute to kind of remind people, oh, I have a patron and you should pay into it, and then rattling the can. I think it's much simpler than that. I think it's just stupidity, which says something about several elements of the situation. So it says something about who is in charge, and that is Rich, and should Rich be in charge. It says something about the way that he perceives his viewers and the way that he perceives his channel, which is that he's very casual. And I don't really feel that he is in a position, assuming that that is his sole income, I don't think that he is in a position to be so casual about what is happening, because it leaves people with a negative impression. Or, you know, you're running a business, right? You want to make as good an impression as you can. And preparing a kind of special Christmas video for your patrons, which you may have done. I mean, I don't know if there is a patron-only aspect, or for the YouTube channel. I mean, I would have put one on the YouTube channel if I know that I've got 700,000 people subscribed, because that is an opportunity to garner some views as well, if we go down the cynical road, right? But I do think that what Killer has really pointed out is a kind of lack of business planning. I don't think it's anything kind of evil or manipulative. I think it's more the fact that what we're basically saying is that Rich can't really be left in charge of his own business, because he doesn't seem to take it seriously. And that just kind of suggests that he's indolent, you know, he's kind of lazy about it. And the problem with saying something like that is that it puts us in a dangerous position, because now all of a sudden we have to turn around to Killer and we have to say, well, look, actually, is there some truth in what you're saying? And I do think that's a dangerous road to walk down, because we don't really want to give Killer too much encouragement. So when Killer says something like, "Look, this channel is just regurgitating the news," the problem is, let's say we take that idea and we analyze it seriously for a moment. If we said, well, Rich does that because he's lazy, there's a lot of evidence to suggest now that that is the case. He's very casual about his own channel. He doesn't care. And, he's just basically rattling the can and making money out of YouTube and being lazy about it. He's not that bothered. And there are other examples that you can use to highlight this problem. The super chat is a good example. So Rich goes on, he gets on the super chat. It's actually one of the few examples where he puts his business hat on, where he'll just kind of read the questions from people who donate on the super chat, and he just gives them the kind of boilerplate response, which is that, oh, you know that you don't need to donate in order to get your questions read out, when in reality that is his kind of way of doing business, is that he actually needs you to pay into the system so that he can survive, and he won't respond to you unless you do that. So he's running a business. So the super chat is possibly the only element of the Review Tech USA business which is actually run properly. So I just wanted to highlight that I thought this was a good question that Killer has asked, and it's not all drama. There are some kind of it's the same with anything. There are some kind of nuggets of gold, although they are kind of few and far between, because they tend to be kind of buried under this what really recently has just been a lot of kind of bitterness from Killer. I would encourage you to watch this video, because there are things that he says that are they kind of illustrate why he puts the videos up. So yeah, I would encourage you to watch this video as well. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Please like and subscribe and check out my Patreon page, and I will catch you in the next video.